Wait, don't turn the channel. You've tuned into High Gravity.
The show where we talk about beer, brewing, and bullshit.
Where the only thing we take seriously is the next round.
So grab a glass.
Fill it with something cold.
And enjoy the show.
We are now recording.
Welcome back to the High Gravity Podcast.
Wait, nope. Welcome back to Low Gravity.
Welcome back to Low
We're
Gravity.
not changing our
And we are back. We're back. Famous Web3.
Well, I'm pretty sure what we're drinking next is not over 7%.
Nope. It is medium gravity. We kept the twins because they still have beer on the table and we're still drinking it.
Even if it is 2.5%.
We are
It's been a long 3 weeks.
This has been a screaming endorsement for the BREW Society because we will keep drinking your beer because it is good.
Keep sending it.
I kind of feel I should reuse that here's to you for all of these.
Here's to you, BREW Society.
We salute you, not just for being the pioneers of the craft beer revolution, but for mixing it with the audacity of the crypto world. You are the trailblazers, the hop enthusiasts who dared to take a sip from the wild side. And now you're infusing that passion into the cryptoverse with your NFTs. So here's to you, the real heroes of our time, steadfast in the storm of uncertainty and never backing down. You're not just brewing beers. Oh no, you're crafting a revolution, one digital token at a time. You're the ones who stand tall, bravely saying, yeah, that's right, we combined craft brewing and NFTs. And for that, we raise our glasses high. At the end of the day, when you've battled through lines of code and vats of hops, when your fingers are weary from trading and your taste buds tingle with the lingering taste of a well-crafted IPA, there's always a digital pint waiting for you. So crack open a cold one, you crypto brewers. Here's to you, BREW Society, for bringing that frothy goodness to the digital realm. You've earned it. Now, let's have a beer, shall we? Cheers to you, you glorious bastards.
So, not beer today, though.
Nope, not
A little different.
Not necessarily beer today. We're going with another themed episode similar to our last
Water.
one where we drank things that were pumpkin or had the name pumpkin in the
Flavored
name.
water.
We are drinking
There's a lot
some
of fruits and vegetables.
some exclusive ciders from Tandem Cidery, which you'll probably know from previous episodes is the best cidery in Michigan, and I will stand by Tandem and everything they do because they are fucking good. So, you know, I don't know which one we want to start with. Let's start with the drier one. You guys want to start with drier?
That'll work.
Do they all come in bombers like this, or can you get them in cans?
So you can get cans. They do limited distribution, like local stores around here. You can typically find their certain stores, like bottle shops and things. You can find their Smackintosh, which is a Macintosh-based cider. That's really good. It's a nice tart, sweet combination. And their Green Man you can often find, which is a slightly drier version. And those are typically your more distributed styles. These are exclusive to their cider club. So if you would join their cider club, the only way you're going to get these ones is if they mail them to you. So very similar to the BREW where they're sending you the beer from the brewery itself, except this is in Michigan. So they have no problem distributing.
Except to Ohio.
Yeah, well, listen, nobody wants to go to Ohio.
Yeah, fuck Ohio.
So we're going to
Wait
start
a second.
with
Contrary to the opinions of the host, and high society, fuck it.
High society.
there we go.
High Gravity does not necessarily endorse the extreme and explicit hatred of Ohio. Y'all still got beer.
Well, at least one of the three.
In Ohio's
Fuck that whole thing.
in Ohio's defense, they do have Yingling and we don't.
Yeah, and their state has what is the highest per capita of alcohol consumption of anything in the United States?
No, that's Wisconsin.
Oh,
Yeah.
well then
But they have cheese. Why do they have beer now?
the party I was
What
at
goes
was the
great
highest
on a
alcohol consumption in
charcuterie board?
Ohio.
Cheese is on a charcuterie board.
Yeah.
It's Wisconsin or Minnesota, one of those two. I can't remember which.
The party I was at must have just been then the highest in Ohio. There
Certainly-
was
So cider,
A lot of it.
though. We
Yes.
need to
Cider.
drink. This one, like I said, it's exclusive to the cider club. This one is called Roadhouse, and it's got like some
Roadhouse.
some checkbox on the label here. This one should be semi-dry, juicy, and tart.
Is this going to roundhouse kick us?
Roundhouse. I hope so. we need to wake the fuck up. 6.7% alcohol. It just says limited edition from our cider maker Cellars. Let's see, is there an actual description? Nope, just a description of their cider club ciders. Apples grown on opposite ends of the Lake Leelanau meet up at the Press House for a real good time. Ooh. Red Max and Watko. Jesus, that's a word. Watkowski Orchards blends with a pile of apples from Versnyder Orchards, led by the original Swayze Russet.
Was that Mike Wachowski?
Mike Wazowski?
Are they related to Patrick?
Yeah, is that Patrick? It is called Roundhouse. I got that too.
Swayze Russet. I don't know if that's an apple or a human.
I don't know.
But because a russet is an apple and a potato.
Yeah.
Well, let's open her up. We got a little chill on these, and oh yeah,
I think it's a pun on Swayze. Because this doesn't have the same one.
Oh.
It's got to be. Well, it should be a different variety altogether. But smells like apples.
That's a plus.
Ooh,
That's a good pour.
that's a beautiful, crisp, clean.
That is clear.
Cider. God, I can hear the pour from like 3 feet away from the mic.
A little bit louder than that lawnmower.
Don't put your glass by my face if you don't want me to lick
Smells tart.
Yeah.
Smells tart.
it. This one is the drier one of the two.
What the hell?
You have a headset on. Don't walk away.
That was rule number 2. Keep
Damn
your
it,
pants on.
he's got me figured out. He broke the game. So yeah, this one should be 1.5% residual sugar. So this one is going to be a drier cider. It's going to be tighter, more tart. Mm-hmm. Smells fantastic.
Definitely tart. Got a right up front apple
It
taste.
smells like a cake. It smells like a pie.
I'm gonna.
There's that back of the
that's good.
jaw tensing.
It's tart.
Pie.
Oh,
huh?
it's
Real tart.
Very tart.
contrary to my facial expressions. I like
Up front,
Apple.
it is
Right in
apple,
front.
like sweet apple, but like then it just the tartness slowly builds.
Once you get over that jaw biting, it's very good. I like
a little bit of like almost buttery characteristic. Like,
Dangerous.
it's tasty though.
Yeah.
These ciders
Normally,
are
though, you're
dangerous.
used to them being sweet. Like, this is...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like dry
It does have a
ciders.
dry.
It's
quick.
almost
It's
quick on
like
the
a
tongue.
wine.
Dry. The dryness is quick on the tongue.
But the apple flavor,
all the way back.
it is very apple.
Yeah.
Like it is like biting a
What type of
tart
apple is that?
Yeah, you're right.
Is it Swayze?
Swayze apple.
Well, there's also Red Max. I'm assuming that's Macintosh.
Okay, that would make sense.
But
Being an apple, yes.
their flagship.
Now this is very dry. This is a very dry cider. Yeah, but Macintosh isn't like.
Contrary to that, it's
When you-
wet in the
when
glass. You're right.
When you crunch on a Macintosh, it doesn't give you a dry taste though.
look-
No, but it gives you that sweet tart. Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
I think
I really like.
To be fair, though, is like
To be fair.
an apple has all of its sugars intact. Like this, despite having residual apple sugars, like it's still fermented. So it's a Macintosh apple that you bite is going to have that full sugar bite. This is fermented some of that out. So this is
What I like is it finishes with like punch in the face apple. Maybe not punch in the face, but like it finishes
just
apple.
Tell us more about this project. How do you get involved? Like it's a members only cider.
So you can join Tandem Cider Club. Go on their website. You can join. It's just Tandem Ciders. I don't know the exact website. Just Google Tandem Ciders Michigan. You'll find it. And you can join via their website, or you can go to the cidery. So if you ever find yourself in northern Michigan, around Traverse City area, you have to go to Tandem Ciders.
That one's phenomenal.
They are better than any cidery I have ever been to, hands down. I love them.
That one is fantastic.
Yeah, and this
What's do you know the membership price for? Is this a yearly?
$29.99.
So it,
2 for 50.
it depends on which ciders you're getting. Because we canceled our membership a couple of cycles ago because we had accumulated so many bottles. We had like 60 cider bottles, and we're like, we need to slow
That's a
down.
bad problem, huh?
Yeah. Oh, hey, it's a good problem now because we're drinking it. I think
Is there
it
more
was.
of that one?
It was. Oh yeah, yeah.
take more.
It was roughly like $80-ish
like it enough to pour
for
near the
the
computer.
12 bottles. These bombers, they're the 750 mils.
Anyone want more?
But it depends on what you do, because if you just take what they ship you, they have a standard shipment that they will ship They have a standard amount of bottle, the standard bottles that they'll ship every shipment, and you can customize that. You can decide where it's like, well, hey, like my wife drinks their Sunny Days. That's her favorite. Their Sunny Days cider. Yes.
So I have a feeling though, like on ciders, people like the sweeter side of the ciders.
A lot of people do.
Yeah,
and they're wrong.
I like them. Yeah, I
And you
agree.
can pick and choose then, right?
Yeah.
You
So
don't have to go,
if you-
okay, we're going to send you all Swayze box.
Exactly. Like you can pick and choose
Or Roadhouse.
and
You
edit
could
it,
get a
and,
Ghost
and
variant,
it will
a Roadhouse variant.
it will increase your cost if you're picking certain bottles. But normally what we would do is every order we would replace 2 of them with Sunny Days, so my wife
So
could
what
get Sunny
increases
Days
the
bottles.
cost? Like why
Just
would
some
it
bottles are more
cost
expensive
more?
than others.
Why? Though it's all Apple, right?
Some apples cost more than
So
others.
yes,
I mean,
You
is
gotta-
that why? The Swayze apple.
You got to
I mean-
think
So, I mean-
like a 10% alcohol beverage is going to be more expensive than a 5% alcohol beverage, just
All right,
based on
why?
the fact that
Okay.
there's more sugars involved.
Gotcha.
Plus also the rarity of it too, because you can get vintage bottles. Like if you're going to get a 2022 bottle of cider, like obviously the time it takes and the space it takes for them to store it and everything like that, you
Can I get a Salt River barrel variant?
River salt.
River Salt barrel.
So you're saying
River salt.
so you're saying that we
the
should
Salt
get
River, you probably don't want a barrel
double
for that.
the MetaBrew if we order 2.5.
Well, that would be 5%, right? If that's how
Right.
math works, right?
I like that idea. I do too. We need to talk to these guys. Yeah, that's right. The cider's doing it. MetaBrew should do it.
Yeah, and it's. I think a lot of it too, though, is like at least this is an assumption on my behalf. Like the kind of crafted case that they're sending you is probably based slightly on what they have in stock. Like there's probably going to be like these are exclusives. They may have made these exclusively for the Cider Club, or maybe these were just leftover bottles that they had where like, hey, we need to get rid of these. Like let's label them for the Cider Club people. You don't really know. But it's I don't think we paid. I think we paid like $90 was the most we paid for a box, and that was every quarter. So it was 4 times a year that we were getting a case of Tandem cider.
It's not bad.
It's not because my wife, she's not a big drinker, but she likes cider. Like she likes sweet cider.
Yeah, but
so
for 10 months, you could have got MetaBrew and that for life.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just give me your credit card.
The reason
I mean, I can, but there's not much room to go.
The reason
on
these
that.
bottles are here today is because like she was not drinking hers fast enough, and I was like, I stopped paying for it because I'm like, I can't drink 10 bottles of cider that fast. I love these. These are delicious.
That's the
But
only
if I
reason
drank this whole thing, like,
yeah, I stopped doing a lot of the home brewing. Is a lot of the group at that time I was hanging out with doesn't like or drink that stuff, and I ran out of bottles, and I'm not getting that many more bottles to just make beer and let it sit.
That's kind of why I stopped home brewing too. I sell it now.
Well, you went commercial. Yeah, I can't do that.
Bottling sucks, though. I mean, that's hard to
That's
do.
why I bottled
It
like
is,
twice
and
before I switched to kegging.
I
will
did.
never
I
bottle
bottled
again.
once with the crimp caps, and then I have a minor addiction to accumulating Grolsch bottles.
Yeah, those are nice.
Easier.
Yeah, those are nice, but the only problem with those, if you pass them out to friends, they don't clean them.
Yeah.
It's almost easier
ruin
just
them.
to...
So my buddy turned me on to OxyClean.
No,
Oh
Yes,
my
OxyClean.
God.
I OxyClean all my
OxyClean
equipment.
without
Cleans
any
the
kind
Yes,
of...
OxyClean free.
Unscented.
You have to get the unscented.
But
Yep, and
that's still you
have to
still
do-
got to work at some of the
There's
bad
still
bottles.
rinsing. Yeah, I've had 1 or 2, so I've gotten some pretty sketchy bottles.
Yeah.
There was a lady I bought like 60 or 70 kombucha bottles from. Well, she used kombucha in them, and those were some of the nastiest bottles I've ever cleaned.
Have you ever drank the gross bottle or the gross beer?
I
to get the
fucking
gross-
love Grolsch.
I love it.
I
However,
love Grolsch. Anything in a green bottle, I love, except Heineken.
I'm gonna-
Heineken's garbage. But
I'm going to add an addendum to that,
Beck's,
though.
Carlsberg,
No, I don't.
Hold on.
I don't care for gross.
I have to add an addendum to that because I have found, in what few places I have found Grolsch, if it sits on the shelf longer than a couple of weeks, it skunks.
well, that's
Fresh
why
Grolsch is amazing.
I like the skunkiness of green bottles. So a green bottle lets in more light. It's going to skunk the beer.
Yeah.
Like beer bottles, like it's people think that like temperature fucks with your beer. Like
Mm-hmm.
I stored it hot, then got it cold
light
and hot.
and
I don't think that
oxidation.
It's
matters.
light.
Yeah.
Yes, light will corrupt your beer. It'll skunk your beer.
It's
Green
See,
is
look,
bad,
light
then, huh?
struck.
Yeah.
Name a single bottled green beer that doesn't have a skunk to it. That's why I like green bottle beer. I like the skunk.
I do. But
I expect
when
that
you
in
get,
the case, but I'm also a big fan of weed.
when you get,
Hey, Daryl, is that okay? Can we say that?
Skunk.
I like the skunk.
Shoot.
Yeah.
You can say whatever you
when
want.
you get it fresh versus something
This
that's
is
been sat
America.
on the shelf for a while, though,
I'm high right now.
It's
I
a-
like the skunk.
it's a big. Either way, that's my issue though. Is I kept running out of bottles because I was brewing and no one drinks it.
Oh, yeah.
And it's
I write those bottles off. If I give bottles away, I write them off.
I'm usually, if I bring a 4-pack or 2 or something to where I'm at, I'll usually leave with the bottles because nobody wants them. A few people will save them for me though. We're not going to talk about that on the record.
Like I said, I'm high right now. I don't think anyone here or anyone I know has seen me not high. Like, is it
been a while. Anywho, I'm doing a massive reorganization in the garage, looking to get in a mini fridge to keep beers out there. So any of you who follow me on Facebook, if you see the garage invite, I'm hopefully going to have cold beers in the garage. They're homebrews.
Beer.
So we'll see what you
Cold
like.
beer. Don't you ever worry. I am right here.
My plan is to keep the fridge about half stocked with homebrews and then whatever else anybody leaves.
Sounds awesome. What's next?
So yeah, we've cleansed our glasses with a little bit of BREW, and because it's
wasn't
delicious
invited to that
palate
party.
cleanser.
That's kind of good and bad, I guess. Hey, go ahead. We like BREW.
I have no
I
complaints.
like MetaBrew.
I do.
And
Yeah,
someone here
100%.
I didn't like him so much
BPA.
before until we tasted it.
Yeah.
I'm
good now.
I
I
do
like
love.
MetaBrew.
I still 100% my favorite was the Fest one. That it was between that and the Hellas, and that one. The more of them I had, the more I liked that one.
The more I drink the pale ale,
Yeah, I'm down.
the more I love.
Wait, we're doing. Wait.
Well, we're cleansing our glasses.
cleansing
Okay.
our glasses.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
There's some dark ale over there too, guys.
Oh, there will be no man left behind.
Oh, I
Johnny doesn't leave behind beers. Yeah, I'll take a little bit. Before we open up the next cider, we're just going to cleanse our palates and talk about general topics.
But not because we don't like this. because
Have you
we do
guys
like
been on that internet? Have you seen the internet?
What is
Yeah.
the internet?
Well, it's a
I've been
place
on the
for
line.
people
Where you
to
go for porn.
anonymously slander one
Ah,
another.
yeah, I bet on that.
Jim apparently has issues with that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's difficult.
I thought it was called Porn Net.
I open up the internet and all of a sudden it's I don't know. Where
There's
the
a
porn
hub
is.
for that, isn't there?
What do you think the percentage of the internet for porn is used for? Like,
Oh, dude, it's
gotta
like
be high.
60%, 60 or 70%.
It's a lot.
there's so
is
much
real-
information out there on the internet, but the
gonna
majority's
ask Google.
probably used
I think it also
Probably
depends.
90%.
TikTok or porn.
It depends on how you define the internet, though, too,
Oh,
because
man.
like
The World Wide Web.
so basically the cached internet that web crawlers have access because like
We're not going for onion sites.
well, no, the vast majority of the internet is not cached. Like, so the vast majority of the internet, it's like an iceberg. Like most of it is
Onion,
below the
BBS
surface.
concepts. Yep.
Yeah, dark web as they call it.
Oh, is that what it's called? That all runs through Washington.
I remember. Well,
Exactly.
I remember when I was younger, and the internet was this new hot thing. Like there was no such thing as a dark web. Everything was the dark
So that was
web. There
92?
Yeah,
left
there was no
side
regulations.
Of, left side of Washington.
I remember being a very impressionable young boy and seeing a man and a jar. And I don't need to go into any more detail than that.
No,
Like,
we're good.
yeah, you can just Google it if you want to ruin your fucking day.
It's better than the one that involves a cup. We'll just
You know, hey,
No,
I will
it's
say,
not.
I will
That one's
say
better. Yeah, that one's-
I never had to see that because I was smart enough to avoid it. The meme had gotten to me fast
you're
enough.
the only one I know of who's never been ruined.
No,
by
but I've
that.
seen the jar, which is way fucking worse.
Yeah, you're right. I retract my prior statement.
Yeah.
The jar's much worse.
You know, the story behind that guy is he just packed some gauze up in there and went to work after that. You know that, right?
Did not know
He
that.
has a wife
No.
and 2 kids when he did that. Totally normal fucking dude.
We should probably
normal
get
in
back
heavy
on topic
quotes.
of the show. This is devolving way quicker than most episodes. do.
Wait, what's the show about?
About guys in jars. You didn't know? This is the 3rd episode where
thought it
everything
was-
is fucked.
I thought it was guys in bottles.
Oh, bottles. I'm sorry. Yeah, jar, bottle. You know how easy those are to confuse.
Thanks for the correction, Daryl.
At least the bottle is flared. The jar is just, Anyway, so our next beverage.
There's like 2 people that are laughing
Another
hysterically at this.
And imagine how many of our listeners have
rest
no
don't have pants
fucking
on.
idea what we're talking about.
Oh yeah.
Don't Google anything about guys in jars. I'm just telling
Or
you.
about the term blue waffle. Don't do it. Do not do it.
Why would you even bring that up? Now every listener is going to look it up.
I know.
Could you spell that out?
So before you get into that, I have a slight side story.
Hang on,
Please
Johnny's
don't.
going to make things worse before we get another drink.
Somebody was talking about that. So there is a picture of an actual waffle that somebody painted blue.
Yeah, we're not.
Posted on Facebook, and they say, don't Google the recipe for this. My mom looks at me and goes, why wouldn't I want to Google the recipe for a blue waffle? I'm like, Mom, don't do it. Do not search that term.
I'd have told my mom, yeah, look it up.
Yeah.
No.
So would I. And then she would have been super mad, and I would have laughed.
And then Daryl would have said, I got that from the white boys.
Yeah. Those sons of bitches and their
secret
blue
recipe.
waffles. So anyway, back to Tandem cider. We're continuing to drink cider.
Back to low gravity.
Anybody who's still
Back to
listening
why
to
this
our
show is
degeneracy. This one is called Beauty School Dropout. Which,
yeah.
good for her.
She sounds dirty.
It also semi-dry,
Isn't that
tannic,
grease?
and floral. This one is should be a little sweeter. This is 2.7% residual sugar. The last one was 1.5, so it should have just a touch more. Slightly lower on the ABV though. We are 6.2 instead of 6.7. And let's see if the description is different. It says, our very first rosé cider, this pink-hued beauty boasts 50% Redfield apples blended with crimson gold. Oh, God, I got to get closer to read this one. Spitzenberg, Harrison, and Porter's Perfection. So there is 50% of one apple and then a bunch of blend of apples that nobody has ever fucking heard of.
This has to be a spinoff of Grease. Because there was a beauty school dropout song in Grease.
I've never actually seen that movie.
Well, you're not missing out. I haven't seen it either, but I still know the fucking song.
Yeah, everybody does. And there's a dirty version of that at karaoke nights.
There we go.
About all I
opened
know
it.
about it.
Smells good. Smells like a cider. Oh, that is definitely rosé. It's got a nice pink. Here, I'll just pass it around. Oh, I'm sorry, I passed it the wrong way. You got to pass the Dutchie to the left.
Like you said.
I don't know the difference. I went to public schools.
Don't worry about the twins. If you pass this through the center, it's still going to the left.
Pass the Dutchie to the left.
There we go.
But he did it with his right hand. That's okay.
It is definitely more
I'll
golden
look
than
that
it
one
is
It smells
pink.
tart.
Oh, it should
That
be.
it
It's
does.
2.7% residual sugars. I think is still pretty low in my
Yeah.
opinion. Like if as far as like sweet goes.
Ooh. It's definitely less dry than the last one.
Oh, that's still
It's
really
good. It's really
That's
good.
fucking good.
It's not real sweet at all.
Oh.
No.
Got a nice tartness to it.
Yeah.
And
It's
tastes like
almost-
apples.
It's almost got like somewhere in the yeasty characteristic, like almost like a butterscotchy caramel, like not
Yeah,
not
I can see
sweet
that.
like that though.
Yeah.
You know, like where butterscotch or caramel might be like you anticipate
maybe,
sweet.
yeah.
It's got
I
that
can
kind of
see
like
where you say that.
adjacent flavor.
This would be a weird description, but if you took, like you said, butterscotch and dropped the milk solids out, I don't know if this makes sense to anyone, but probably
Yeah,
not. It's okay.
none of that makes any sense.
It's okay.
It tastes like apples.
It does, but it's like it's got a buttery smoothness to it that
Yeah.
I can't quite describe.
Maybe a beauty substance to it.
Jeez, a
I do-
beauty, eh? That's a beauty, eh?
I do taste like the butterscotch type of flavor to it, but it's still as dry as the last one.
Yeah.
No, not
It's,
as
sweeter.
it's not as dry as the last one.
It's a little
but yeah,
sweeter.
It's hard to imagine butterscotch without being sweet. Like it's.
Oh, I'm not saying it's not sweet, but
Yeah.
it's still got the same dryness, I think, on my tongue.
It's not
that's
as
also
dry,
really good.
but it's phenomenal. I like this
I'm
one a
pretty
lot.
sure these ones were. God, I could have swore they were like 20. Oh, these are 2022 bottles. Yeah.
Hey,
so these are-
requisition more of that one, please.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, these are 2-year-old bottles, and they've aged well. Like they're not. There's nothing off about it. That's a wonderful.
Yeah, they were
cider.
both good.
Dude, this one's
ciders.
really good.
Yeah, this one is a little more sweeter, a little more flavorable.
I think
It's
this.
not really sweet. It still has the tartness.
Yeah, this
It
is
does.
this is
I
less-
mean,
this
it's
is
just
more
sweeter than
approachable.
the last
Yeah.
one. That's all.
This is more
This
approachable.
is what I want with a cider.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Right. Last one
Oh,
was
Mm-hmm.
they're both
more
labeled
tart,
as semi-dry, but this one has a little more
wetness.
Or I guess.
A little more beauty.
Yeah.
Kind of like school, you know?
I don't know if they're still making either of these or if these are in their repertoire, but I would buy more bottles of this.
Yes.
This is exactly what I want out of a cider. It's the perfect balance. It's mostly dry, but sweet enough that you still get that like kind of like tart apple.
Yeah.
That's really fantastic.
I can the dryness to your I know what you're talking about. It's hard to explain. It's not really the dryness like having a super dry wine or something like that, but it does have like a dry out your tongue flavor to it.
It's just perfect. This is exactly what I want out of a cider.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan. But then again, I've never had a
Sounds like an OSHA violation. I don't want to go witness that.
No way. We should record that.
So in case you didn't hear it, there's a big loud noise in the back.
We're just brewing beer. No worries.
We'll just keep drinking.
I was getting rid of the body.
That was the alcohol fermenting. You heard it.
Yeah. It's got a kick to it.
He screamed too.
I didn't hear that one.
Wow, this is... I
like this one a lot. Holy hell!
I'm enamored with this. Like of all their ciders, this might be my favorite, and that's high praise because they have some fucking great ciders.
The Granny Smith one you brought a few weeks back. What was that one called?
Was it the Green Man?
No,
was that the one we developed? The
you mentioned earlier.
Oh, we had I think we drank some. What was it? The Crabster. We had a Crabster.
Yeah.
That was hella dry.
That was the day you crashed. Yep. And that was a Tandem cider also. That was pretty.
I love
pretty
that
good too.
I love that episode because we completely developed a cult around apples that day.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, this is probably my favorite cider I've had from them in a while. Like I really, really, really like this.
Yes.
The Beauty School Dropout. If they're not still making it, Tandem. If you're listening, you're not. Tandem, listen to us and please Beauty School Dropout. Put it on tap.
Our thousands of listeners want more.
I say that like when I go there, like, and I've been going to Tandem for years and years now. It's one of the few places where you don't leave Tandem without spending $100. You spent, and I think last time I went, I spent $200 on cider.
It's a lot more of that than I thought.
But yeah, I'm a big fan of this.
Are you back to last week's beer?
Yeah, it's been sitting around for a week.
That'd be good.
It's flat. There's floaties.
It's probably better. It's probably better now since it's aged a week without the cap.
There is Meta Brew to drink, and you're drinking that?
Yep.
I'm disappointed.
No beer left behind.
Johnny, that philosophy has gotten you in trouble so many times. It might be time to reflect and make lifestyle changes that are appropriate for your future.
No.
Good. That's it.
Just have to say that I'm going from cider to this Bavarian dark ale.
That warm? Terrible, though.
Yeah, it kind of fucks with the palate.
Yes,
yeah,
for sure.
So, Johnny, we're gathered here today to talk to you.
now that wondering about that.
Friends.
Now that everyone is properly lubricated with alcohol, we need to talk to you about your drinking problem.
I was wondering why everybody had a white envelope today.
And now that we're all drunk, we need to talk to you about how much you drink. But we have a handle on it. You clearly are off the rails. The garbage disposal.
He's been pretty good the last few weeks.
He's dialed back.
I think he learned.
He's been pretty good.
He doesn't want me to yell at him again.
I don't know. That was goddamn funny.
What was that statement? Be like a clam and shut the fuck up.
We were talking about something about clams. Jim goes, "I like clams because clams know when to shut the fuck up." But he just sounded so angry and so vigorous about it.
And the best part about that is he didn't shut the fuck up. He learned nothing from that. Like,
yeah. I don't get it.
I've never seen him mad, but that day
I think he was.
I was not.
He says he wasn't.
He wanted to kill somebody.
But when you listen to the episode, you can hear the anger and frustration.
What episode is this? I gotta listen to it again.
It's episode 23.
Oh, we're up to date. We listen.
Well,
I missed this.
I think it was
I gotta go back and now listen to see if he
Studio
was angry
Audience,
or
I
not.
believe was the title.
23.
In defense, And the last, 30 seconds of, 6 people talking will be evidence of that. Is like, so we're doing this for fun because like we don't have to do this. We're not trying to get rich. We just want to drink beer on a Sunday morning and have a good time.
But if you'd like to sponsor the High Gravity Podcast, please reach out.
Yes, please do. I agree with Johnny. I was gonna be like, don't interrupt me, but then he's like, well, he's trying to monetize, so like I like money. But at a certain point, like if you're going to create content, like if you're going to go out of your way so we can sit here and record ourselves drinking all this bullshit, you should have at least the most minimal of standards because
You're gonna have fun.
I agree. You should have fun.
A lot of fun.
But if your listener isn't listening because you have 5 people yelling at each other for 3 minutes, like I'm gonna turn that off. And then how many people aren't gonna come back? So like I hate to be that dickhead that wants to produce quality content. But if we're gonna waste our times recording it, we might as well try.
Think of the people that stuck around.
Yeah, they're all our friends that like us because they already know who we are. They're like, well, your podcast sucks dick, but like you guys are pretty cool, so I'll keep suffering through it.
That must mean our listener in Russia is like somebody in the gulag being tortured or something.
Well, who knows?
Still translating gulag.
Yeah, there could be plenty of people outside this country that are like, I have a very loose grip of English, and these guys seem like they have an even worse grip of English than me. So it makes me feel good to listen to these dickheads.
Damn Americans.
English from the High Gravity Podcast.
Damn American. I think we should. I think we really should change it though. I think Americans shouldn't say we speak English anymore. I think we should say we speak American because what we speak is not English.
Yeah.
It's an awful version of English.
In drunk Johnny's defense, it's all your fault.
Listen, nobody
was your
told
friend's
you to
fault.
gulp down.
Moonshine.
I think we can talk about it. We can talk about what the initiation was.
There may be 2 of us that are mad right now.
Lightning.
We did that 1 week, and it went so bad we haven't done it since.
You drink over half the jar.
It was your fault. I had a quart jar. You know what? I think it's time we tell the story. I think it's time we tell the story.
We tell the truth. Yeah.
I have a good friend who's every bit licensed to do these sort of things, so it's totally on the up and up. He came over to get some eggs from me. I raise a lot of chickens. I give eggs to my friends, and so he brought me a quart of apple china. Which actually, what was it called, Johnny?
So how many eggs does that buy?
It's made with apples, and then he sweetened it with apples. It's a French word.
Oh, eau de vie.
Thank you. It was a eau de vie.
And he bought how many eggs? Let's make this legal, right?
I gave him
3 eggs.
13 dozen.
Enough for an omelet.
13 dozen. So
That's a hell of a fucking omelet.
156 eggs.
All right, good.
And he gave me this jar because he's a friend, and he gave me this. So I brought in a quart. This is a quart of 100 proof eau de vie, which is 100 proof white lightning with an apple in it.
Yeah.
Made from apples, back sweetened with apples. Super good.
It was very good.
It was amazing.
Sipping good.
And there was a lot of people here that day. Becky was running by with her kid. She stopped in. Gary stopped by. Brother Phil was here for the episode.
Yeah.
Daryl and I were here, obviously.
Brother Phil is your pastor? No,
Brother Phil's Daryl's brother Phil.
You ever notice he's Brother Daryl, there's Brother Phil, there's Father Daryl?
They are the monks of the StarCraft brewery who make the mead.
That's what I was getting at.
So Daryl and I were taking little nips, as you do of moonshine, enough to wet the lips and tickle the tongue.
That's experience.
Yes. Gary, he knew to take nips. Becky took a little nip. For some reason, fucking Brother Phil and
holy shit,
and
dude.
Johnny,
I cannot believe you caught that.
we're just gulping the shit like it was the fucking Hellas from earlier, that it was like you just need a big gulp of this. And that quart jar, when I left, there was not even an inch of moonshine left in that quart.
Man.
And the other 4 of us,
I was encouraged.
the other 4 of us maybe drank 2-3 ounces of that jar. The other,
Well, except for Phil.
that's what
He was pretty
like me
far
and
gone,
you.
too.
And
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Brother
the other
Phil and I got
14
pretty close,
ounces
dude.
of the quart were consumed by 2 individuals, and
Majority probably me.
So when you listen to the episode and Johnny and Phil are taking things off the fucking rails,
And I'm trying to mute him.
it didn't work because the mics are so sensitive. So, long story short, Johnny didn't leave the brewery till 8 p.m. that night. And by the way, we start recording at 10 a.m.
And we went to lunch, ate food, and came back.
Yeah, he didn't drink the entire time. And Johnny
I think
was
I
not
remember that
nearly-
day. I think I came in at 2 and you were still
something
drunk.
like that, yeah.
I had to translate your conversation on the Google drunk translate.
One of the options on Google Translate is drunk Johnny.
Yeah, what do you want to translate? You want to translate drunk English to English, right? Yes.
One of my-
that's what
Drunk
it is.
American to American. Come
One
on,
of
we're
my
talking about
favorite
this.
parts of that day was you. You said you stopped drinking, and I watched you continually somehow get drunker and drunker
Yes.
the longer we went.
Yeah, the crazy thing is, like, the amount of moonshine that he consumed happened in, like, the first episode. Like, before the first... There
Would
was...
kill most people.
Yeah, there was very little consumption, and so I got to watch him devolve and just get hammered. And he's like sipping little beers, like sipping little samples, and he's getting drunk and drunker and drunker. And I'm like, this is not going good at all for any of us.
This is the first one.
See, these are the type of bonus episodes we should have on our Patreon, where we tell stories about like all the things we memed about for like 6 months that you know nothing
What
about.
we've
You have to
learned.
pay us to find out now. Like, yeah,
I mean, I
typical
could cut this
content.
into a special episode.
I don't want to be a
Fuck it.
typical content creator. Like, you know, we don't need to be like, you know, putting our content behind paywalls. That's a fun story.
One of these
and the
days-
people need to know.
One of these days, we'll have to talk about the in-between show when we're not recording. Because that's worse.
That'll be on the OnlyFans, not even on Patreon.
Well, hey, I hear Kick allows
be a
you to do whatever the hell
pay-per-view.
you want. We can stream it on Kick. You know, they allow all the gamblers and hot tub streamers on Kick.
I'm on it,
That's
but
how
I
you
didn't
get
know
this.
you could stream on that one.
Kick? No, Kick is a almost exclusive streaming platform. They're like Twitch.
Seriously?
Yeah, they're like Twitch with no rules. That's
I've
what
never used it
all
for
the
that.
all the
I use
gambling
Twitch.
and staking streamers
Yeah.
that were on Twitch, they got banned because they were promoting, you know,
How do
heinous
I not
dumb
know
shit.
about the dark
Kick
side
was
of this
well,
app?
Kick was created by was it stake.com. And they actually, what's funny about it is the founders of Kick, or founders of Stake, they got their start playing RuneScape, and they were running games of chance in RuneScape.
No shit.
Like, and that's illegal according to their terms of service. So, like, they started their own Stake.com, and they're fucking billionaires because you know gambling is an
Is
addiction.
Kick an acronym?
No, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't care.
Kick started in
Kick
1492
reminds- yeah,
when
that's
the
what
first
Kick-
guy fell over.
Kick reminds me of that Kickstarter.
Yeah. I mean, they kickstarted something. You know, they're like, hey, gambling addiction, let's cash in on that shit.
So, anyways, back to beer. Or
Hey,
drinking.
I am impressed with the last 3 weeks. We've talked about beer a lot.
We have. That's probably why we've lost listeners.
Oh, damn.
Thankfully, we have some guests who know a thing or two about beer and enjoy good beer. So, amen.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I will.
High gravity about beer? I thought it was just bullshit.
No, that's
the
third.
se- yeah,
that's the
that's
third.
third one.
Beer, brewing, and bullshit are three principles.
yeah.
I think we need to change that order because like, we don't talk about brewing nearly
Yeah,
enough.
it's
But I
mostly
think
bullshit.
I
A
think
lot of beer.
brewing is implied because we can't talk about beer had we not brewed enough of it to
Yes,
understand.
exactly. This is like the chicken
Yeah.
or the egg. What came first?
Brewing. Brewing came
brewing,
first.
yeah.
No,
Because beer can't. Because this is dumb. This is not a chicken or the egg. Like, unless you're assuming that the you know the conversation is so ubiquitous that like obviously the egg came first. You know, like
I mean,
The chicken came first.
oh, lucky
we're
chicken.
debating now.
Good chicken. Well, then I guess the hen was disappointed. Like, I came first, so I mean, it's not about you.
I'm kind of got a feeling we should maybe end this episode based on the level of conversation. I mean, we can keep going. I don't care.
All right, well, let's end it and talk about chickens.
I love chickens.
Have fun. Have a good week.
We'll see. I can't say what I'm thinking.
If you didn't learn anything today, at least remember this. Beer is the answer that makes everything better.
Can't remember the question, but who cares when you have a cold one in your hand?
Remember, everybody, drink responsibly, drink high gravity.
Most importantly, drink well.
Okay, not the well. Life's too short for bad beer.
Stay frosty, my friends.